Happy Wednesday, you guys. Happy girls' night and happy hour. What's everyone's drink of choice? I actually have wine tonight. In the chat, tell us what you're sipping on. Tell us what you're sipping on in the chat. I actually have red wine tonight. Isn't that wild, you guys? Usually I have some sort of mocktail because I don't want to slur my words. But we had a bottle of red wine open, so I was like, I guess I'll just splash a little. So here I am. Yay, Palmberry Spritzer. Wow. Margot, you're having Energize at 4 p.m.? That's a rough combo for me. Fat Tire, yay, water, lame. Holly's making a margarita. Girl, you know the way to my heart. I love this Shakeology. Good for you, Jenna. Look at Jenna, star student. Love it. Y'all are so fun. So fun. See, Annie and I, thank you, Annie. At least I got a wine twin with me tonight. Well, happy Wednesday. I'm so stinking glad that you guys are here. Tonight is like a super chill, low-key night where we like to just share a little bit about our stories as a team. Our team is growing. It's so cool to watch, and lives are being impacted. And I promise you that anything you think you know about like MLMs, Beachbody, that annoying person on social media who keeps trying to sell you an ointment, that's not us. Tonight, like my heart is to dispel those myths and at least give you a glimpse into like the true heartbeat and pulse behind our team. Because to me, I feel like it's unlike any other. So our host tonight, actually, I'm putting like all of you on the spot. You guys are like, what? Brittany didn't tell me I'm hosting tonight, but it's going to be not just like a select few of us, but I do want to call some people out. You don't even know if I'm going to call you out. They're already like sweating. They're like, oh God, is it me? Is she calling me out? Yeah, it is you. There's a couple people I do want to call out tonight to just briefly like give a glimpse of how long they've been coaching, how they got started, and maybe like what their biggest hesitation was and like what they realized since then. So, and I might call out a couple other things along the night, but I want to make sure that there's other voices being heard, because if you've been on these calls before, the stories that you guys share are the ones that are impactful. So I'm going to kick it off, and I'll just say that I started this 9 years ago. I was worried that I potentially signed up for a pyramid scheme because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was like, oh God, did I sign up for one of those things? And what I realized is, hold on. Sorry, we have people coming over, and I was like, can you shut my doors real quick? So what I realized though, you guys, was the one thing that I was always missing on my journey was community. It truly was. It was the thing I didn't think I needed. I was always that person that trained on my own, went to the gym by myself, signed up for the races by myself. And I was always doing things on my own. But it wasn't until I got around a community of other like-minded women that I finally was like successful on my journey and craved showing up for it. And so many of these women are going to tell you that the community is truly the glue that keeps them here. And that's what truly switched everything for me. And then the more and more I realized that I needed this, the more I realized other women needed it too. And so it's been my heart to just create a community of women who we do life together. We set goals together. We dream big together. We have a different conversation than maybe the conversations that I used to be around 9 years ago. And we talk about growing together. We talk about, we push each other, and it's a good thing. When you scan this picture, when you scan the Zoom, this place is not one size fits all. So you might look at my journey and you're like, I could never do what Brittany does. But here's the thing. Oh, and if you don't know me, by the way, I'm pretty sure everybody on here, I feel like I know familiar faces, but if you don't, my name is Brittany Frost, and I'm the crazy person behind this train. But if you're ever thinking like, I could never do what Brittany does, or I don't have enough hours in the day, or I already feel overwhelmed in what I've got, I don't think I could add one more thing on. I just want you to know, at its root, all these women who are either on this picture or on the screen are simply just showing up and taking care of themselves and surrounding themselves with like-minded women. And then along the way, maybe somebody's inspired by your journey and they're like, gosh, you've been doing awesome. Like, what are you doing? And then you have a place to offer them a spot. Right? There's no like quota from me. There's no like, you have to sell it. Like, if you think that this is like a sales pitch to get you to sell something, it's just not. It's just not. But I just know the power of when you actually go all in and really surround yourself with this community, the power of like that transformation. So can I like, oh gosh, okay. See, this is the problem with calling people out on the spot, is like, you might be distracted. But Amanda, can you unmute? Are you able to unmute? Can you tell us really quick? You used a word at Summit. You used the word alive. Can you give everybody a little story about like who Amanda was, what's happened, and that word alive?
Yeah, of course. So I've actually been doing Beachbody for probably a little over 5 years. But after me and my husband got married, we got pregnant and I had a miscarriage, and it really destroyed me for a while. And I soon after I got pregnant again and I had a baby, my amazing daughter Ada. But after I had Ada, I was still just really like struggling to find myself again because of everything that I went through. And that summer after I had her, I found Inspire Beauty, and it really just like brought me back to myself, and I felt like I was alive again. And yeah, so I talked about that with a lot of the girls over our past retreat this weekend, and this team has really done a lot. So
I love that so much. She used that word alive. And I was like, ah, that's such a beautiful, like, description of what happens in this community. I see that happen in women time and time again, where all of a sudden they just become alive. Like I can't describe it. Yeah. It's crazy. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing that. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna flip to some slides and I'm gonna keep coming back to you. So y'all better be paying attention because I'm gonna call you out. But let's clear the air. I want to tell you what we're not, okay? Because like again, I started this like, okay, is this like a pyramid scheme? Like, what are we? Here's the deal. We're not fitness or nutrition experts. Beachbody hires those. Those are your super trainers. Those are the people that program the workouts. They're the ones who create the supplements. We don't have to be that. I was always so worried when I started that, I didn't have the answer for something. Like if somebody asked me a question about their nutrition, what would I say? In fact, y'all, yesterday somebody emailed me asking me about intermittent fasting. First of all, I can't even say it, right? But second of all, we have an app for that. Autumn teaches about IF. And so I was able to take that question and redirect her to an expert. So it's not about being a fitness or nutrition expert. And a lot of times we'll talk about this here in two of them down, but being at the perfect weight, like, oh, I need to look like a fitness expert, right? And honestly, people are more inspired by real women on real journeys than they are of an airbrushed supermodel pretending to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Most all of the gals that join me because they say that I'm real, that I'm raw, that I'm relatable, things like that, right? And you're the same. People will relate to your journey when you're not there yet more than they would if you were airbrushed. Again, we don't need to be salespeople or that guy slash gal on social. I'm sure you've had enough people in your inbox trying to sell you something, right? I'm not trying to sell anybody something. My favorite part about Beachbody is that my job as a coach begins when somebody purchases from me. If I sold leggings or lipstick, that's great. And I respect that. But I couldn't do that because the transaction's done. If I sold Amanda some leggings, I'd say, Amanda, here's your leggings. Have some fun. Call me if you need more. Right. But when Amanda purchases Beachbody on Demand and Shakeology, now I can walk hand in hand with Amanda on her journey and help her get results. So I don't want you to be a weirdo on social media. We have enough of those. There's a better way. Yeah. You don't need a certification or a degree. You don't need to be extroverted. In fact, I'm super introverted, which is why it's amazing because I get to do a lot of this through a screen and I don't have to like do a lot of face-to-face stuff, which takes my energy away. So I actually, if you don't know that about me, I'm an introvert. You don't need a big following. We all start with zero. In fact, I didn't even have an Instagram when I started my business. I only had Facebook. And so I've grown my Instagram following over time. We'll teach you how to do things like that. You don't need more time or an empty schedule. I promise you that. If you look at this screen, the majority of gals on the screen who do coach alongside of me also have full-time jobs and other hats they wear, busy mamas, wives, all the things. And again, a lot of times there's a misconception that like, you've got to leave your 9 to 5, like you should do this full time. And that's not it either, right? I simply think you need to love being on your journey. And if you're on this call, the person that invited you here, they see that in you. You've been contributing to their community in some way, shape, or form. And we're certain that you love your journey. If you're here, we want to help you learn how to share your journey, document it, what you're learning along the way. that's the heartbeat of Inspire Beauty, is that we can inspire others via our example, right? And then with that, through our example, people, then it's the ripple effect. People's lives are changed. And the coolest part is I could only help so many women, but when I link arms with you, you have an entire circle of influence and people that you know that you could then link arms with and help them on their journey. On that note, Holly, can I pass it off to you? You are not one of my personally sponsored coaches, but you are a delight to have on our team. You are high energy, but you are busy to the max. Can you tell people a little of how you got started, what's like all on your plate, but like what you've really found that you love about this community since saying yes?
Okay, yes. So while my littles are actually watching a movie, I started doing Beachbody back in 2015. I jumped on and did coaching, but I didn't have the best community. I didn't feel connected. So I was still a coach until I got pregnant again with my third son. And then I still did the workouts through, then I just stopped being a coach, but I wasn't doing anything coach relating. Like I didn't feel the energy nothing was pulling me into coaching. And then I, kept doing it, kept working out, but then Nicolette found me again because we've been connected since I was one of her, I did daycare for one of her kiddos. And she asked me to do it. And just like everybody else, I was like, I don't know, And then I was like, I'm going to do it. Jumped on board again this past February. And I don't know what it is about you ladies, but like, it gives me goosebumps. Like I literally have goosebumps, chicken skin. Just like, I don't know. It's just, there's a different vibe, a different feeling, like the support. I ask silly questions, and I know there's no such a thing as silly question or dumb question or whatever, but like, I am not tech savvy, and but I'm doing my best. But so I run a daycare. I'm a mom of 3 very, very energetic boys. I have a stepdaughter who's here occasionally. I'm a wife. Daycare of almost up to 12 kids every day. I still find 35 minutes to bring myself joy through working out and connecting with everybody here. I ramble a lot because I don't see adults very much, so I don't know if there's anything else that I missed, but yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I'm constantly going. Today was one of those days where I didn't get my nap time hustle in, as I like to call it, because someone decided to wake up on my time and I had to just accept it. And luckily I have a loving husband who supports me. You're going to hear them start talking here soon. So I was able to work out then after I got done with work. So it's kind of a little bit of a chaos, but I make it work. So yeah.
I love it. And I love that you said it brings you joy to do this. And that's the thing, you guys, like you get to do something that you already find joy doing, and then you can actually make money doing it too. Like, let's be real, right? I started this business because I needed more money. I was a full-time teacher at the time and I was strapped for cash and I needed an extra form of income. And this business, despite, like, just like Holly said, all the hats, all the chaos, the craziness, the reasons why you're like, I'm too busy to do this, it was actually my reason to do it because it filled the cracks of my day and gave me some piece of me back. Like, I got to be creative. I got to like build this thing that was my own. And I love that, Holly. And I love how her story shows you that sometimes your first try isn't going to work. That doesn't mean that it's not ever going to work. It just means like sometimes there's growing pains of learning how to do this business, and I love that, Holly, that's part of your story. Coaching is super simple, and I've already told you the 3 things. Kristen, do you want to reiterate so that I don't sound like white noise to people? Maybe they hear a different voice say it.
Sure, I can do that. So really, it's all starts with you. It all starts with me. We have the hashtag here. It starts with me. And that's truly it. Like, you have to learn how to coach yourself before you can coach others, or bring them along as you're doing it so that you can do it together. I know when I first started my journey, I was like, yeah, okay, like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and, but Ashley was happy to be led astray and like do it with me. Thank goodness. So definitely always, like, you start with yourself, but like, if you can find that friend to come along with you, it's going to make it more fun. You're going to be definitely more accountable to your journey because you have somebody else doing it with you. and then share your journey. Like, get on social. I know it's super uncomfortable. I'm still super uncomfortable sometimes, but if we don't share it, then people don't know that they're welcome into this community. We say it all the time, but if you don't put that out there, it's like a party. If you don't invite anybody to your party, to what you're doing, to what you love, nobody's going to show up, right? So this is the same thing. Like Holly said, you have joy doing this, right? So why not share it? And then you're going to inspire others to start their own. So it's pretty cool here for me to sit and see this ripple effect, because I found Brittany when I was in California, and she inspired me to start. And I brought Ashley along, and I found Nicolette along the way, who I had played volleyball with in high school. And now that ripple has continued into finding Holly. And like, how cool is that if you just put your hand out and you ask somebody else to do it with you? Like, that's pretty powerful. And that's what you guys can see in this picture here. As we were goal setting, you know, how many more friends, women, do we want with us next year in San Antonio? And that's pretty powerful. We had a pretty big group this year, and it was amazing. But yeah, we want more, right? We want more with us next year. So coach yourself, share it, and then invite others.
Yes, so simple. It really is that simple. It truly is that simple. And most of you are already doing the first two-ish. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call on Jen real quick, because on that note, Kristen just talked about the ripple effect and inviting. And I'm going to tell y'all real quick, I can say this because Jen won't be mad at me, but I invited Jen for a long time, and it took her a long time. So Jen, she's newer. So if you're like not in yet or whatever, I want Jen's like newness to inspire you. Jen, can you talk to us a little bit about like what was the catalyst for you finally saying yes? And then what happened after you said yes that just like made you want to run with this and keep reaching out to people?
So I've been like off and on workout for, I don't know, a long time. I've done Beachbody just like as doing the workouts, when I was in college and stuff. And I don't know, I never really had a lot of finance behind me to like afford all the things that Beachbody offered, but like I could scrape up enough sometimes to do the yearly membership and do the workouts. But there was never like any support behind it. So like I do it, fall off, do it, fall off. And then I don't know how I found Brittany, but it was through Instagram. I just came across her and I started watching all her stories, just like stalking in the back. And as she tells all of us to do, she would reach out to me and be like, hey, I see you watching me. And I'm like, I think a few times I even did the ghost. I didn't even respond, to be honest. And she would just kindly like circle back and reach out to me and be like, hey, I know you still see me. Like, I can see you watch me. Like, you should do this. And so finally I was like, okay, I can afford this. I can do this. Like, I've done this again. Like, at least now I'll have a group of women with me. So I see all her posts. I'm going to jump on. And so I signed up as just a customer. I think she signed me up with a pack, and I started doing some workouts. And then, I don't know, even then I still was like trying to hold myself accountable and like figure out my own journey. And she saw my energy as I started showing up to things, like jumping on just team things that we had. And she started poking me at coaching. And I was like, oh, I don't even like my social media. I think Instagram, I had like 15 posts since I started it like 5 years ago. Like, I had nothing. I barely even went on Instagram, and Facebook was like, I'm just creeping in the back. So when she kept like poking me about coaching, I was like, yeah, no, I don't do that. Like, and I used to be a teacher who I work in human resources now full time. But so like when I was a teacher, they were so like anti-social media, like hide everything, don't post everything. So I was like scared of it. And I don't know, to be honest, before I saw her post about coming up to Michigan, I'll say out loud, I didn't even know she was from Michigan, but I saw a post that she was coming to Michigan, and I was like, wait, but I live here, like, and you're my coach. And so she invited me, and I went and met her, and Olivia was there, and a couple other girls, and Chelsea, and we met, and we did a workout to celebrate 60 months of her helping bring women into this journey. And it just like, they kept talking about this summit thing, and I was like, what even is that? Like, had no idea. And they're like, we have to be a coach or a PC. And Brittany instantly was like, you're not going to be a PC. Like, you're either going to be a coach or you're not doing this. And I was like, well, I want to go to the summit thing, like the fire, just like meeting these ladies in person after like being on the Zooms and like slowly showing up to things. I was like, but I want more. Like, I'm just getting a little bit and I want more. So I don't know. She sent me I was like, send me the info on Summit, and she sent it to me. And I said, well, I'm going. Like, so I think it was in April. I finally said yes. I signed up, and I'll tell you, it was the scariest thing to like finally like sign up and do it. And I'll be honest, before going to the Summit retreat this last weekend, I was in, but I was like one leg in, one leg out, still nervous about sharing on social media, nervous about just putting myself out there fully, not really sure what to do, not really sure the ripple effect that I was going to have. Like, my heart is calling to do this, but I was like, I don't really know. I'm like scared. And like, I don't know, just going and seeing all these women this past weekend, like meeting everybody that I've seen over Zoom, and just only knowing them for a very short amount of time, being involved in the coaching aspect of it, and showing up on Wednesday evening, not even like ever meeting these women before, and just walking around and almost holding hands like we're best friends, and laughing and just having like the best time, and just feeling like I can be myself 100%, and they're just going to like accept my flaws, my silliness, my outgoingness, my just all of it. It's just so inspiring to know that like I can walk through life and hold hands with people, and no matter what, like I can drop in the chat like I'm having a hard day, and they're going to be like, we got you, what do you need? And I can do the same for them. And so I guess I'm taking it one day at a time, but after being with all of them this weekend and just seeing all the thousands of people that have been affected and have rippled from this, I just want to be a change in this world and be able to see that there's other people out there that I can personally like impact, and give them a piece of the community that I have, and provide a space for them where they can like be who they want to be, and feel supported, and show up and be their best versions of themselves.
I'm prepared to say any of that. It's so good, Jen. Every time Jen speaks and I hear more and more of her heart, I'm just like, I'm inspired. Like, Jen, you inspire me.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you guys, like, first of all, Jen, I don't think I message people like that. I hope I don't. But if I do, like, I see you.
It's okay. Some people need that. Like your talks lately where they're like, hey, you're in or you're out. Like, people need that sometimes. And you were that for me, and I needed that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And that's the cool thing is like, you know, she said, like, we just get to keep building this. And I think of it like a family, you guys. And I know that women, like, I know what it's like to be a woman doing life alone. And I know that there's a better way. And so I can't help but think like, we can take over the freaking world. And the ripple effect, I know Jen talked about the ripple effect of like, you know, what happens when you're inviting other people, but I also know the ripple effect in your own life, your home. I've seen homes rebuilt better because of this community. I've seen families enhanced. I've seen relationships restored. I've seen it all. I've seen moms, y'all are my heroes. But the thing is, like, when a mom sets goals and actually shows up and shows it's possible, the kids actually believe her. Moms, I'm going to give you, if you want one thing to take away tonight, and I'm not a mom yet, but I can preach this because I was a teacher at least, and I'm kind of like a mom to this tribe. I know for a fact that your kids won't believe that they can do anything with their life if they don't watch you do it. You know what I mean? And you're that example for them in your health, in your wellness, and how you show up. And sure, like, there's shakes and there's workouts, like, I get it, but it's so much bigger. And Jen, I love how you encompass that. Why do we love coaching? You know what? Leah loves coaching. Leah, can you tell us why we love coaching?
Personally, I love coaching because when I leaned out, I didn't realize what I was missing until I got that call 2 years ago from Kristen, and she pulled me back in and she caught me. Y'all, I've been an emotional wreck since last week, so forgive me. This is our anniversary month that she pulled me back into this tribe. And I didn't realize what I had missed. Even though I was still logging my workouts, logging my shakes, I was still active in the sisterhood bod group or challenge group, whatever it was called at that time that Britt was running. But I wasn't leaning in, and my marriage was failing desperately. And because of that one call and somebody telling me they missed me, I'm going for 1 star, and there are people on this call with me, and I didn't have that then, and I'm not running alone anymore. Coaching is everything. If you are coaching, you like Kristen said, sometimes we question ourselves and we're like, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. How am I going to help somebody else? You just live your life. You tell your story. You be real and raw. I try and tell my gals, even when I'm giving them tough love or when I'm holding their hand and hugging them or crying or laughing or toasting with them. Lots of times when I'm talking to them, I'm talking to myself. When I'm saying, who'd you invite today? It's that gut check to me. Ooh, is my notebook out? Where's my tracker? Did I do what I'm asking them? And if I'm not doing it, how do I expect them to do it? Because they're looking to me for that. And I look at all of you. So no matter where you are in this coaching journey, know that you inspire others. Ranks are just ranks. Y'all showing up every day inspire me. Jen, months ago saying, I think I'm going to come, but I don't have a room to stay in. And us saying, Leia's got room. She became one of my first roommates, committed to that. Her and I and Bridget walked around the ballpark Wednesday night as if we were girlfriends who had seen each other the day before. It didn't matter that Jen and I had only met through a Zoom screen and that Bridget and I had only met last summer. We were 3 girlfriends walking around the ballpark. And it was so natural. It's so, you can't explain that to other people. You can try, but you got to feel it. I totally did not go off that list, but that's me just telling you guys, coaching is life. It is a lifestyle change. And I am here to tell you, it got my life back on track. And for that, I am forever, forever grateful for this squad that's got my back, no matter what, no matter when.
Oh, I love it so much. And you guys, Leia, back in the day, if you're in my sisterhood bod group, you know that she is like the #1 cheerleader. She's always in there commenting on people's things, right? Like, Kayla, yeah, Kayla's nodding, right? Like she knows. And the thing is, back in the day when our sisterhood was a lot smaller, she would be doing those same things. And that's what I was like, Leia, you should be a coach. And she's like, I don't want to do all that. And I was like, but you have a heart for other people. So if you've already like, whatever reason you think you shouldn't be, I'm seeing you, someone is seeing you, and we're seeing why you should be, right? Annie, you love coaching, and your story is a little different because you were told that coaches get the best results, which is kind of why you enrolled as a coach. You can read from a little of the list if you want. You can go off script like Leia. Y'all are grown GA dubs, all right? G, grown women. Y'all can read that list. So Annie, will you just unmute and tell us a little bit about why you love coaching and why that's the path you decided to go down?
Yeah, so I started as a customer, I guess like Amanda, like 5-ish years ago on a completely different team. And I just wanted to get into working out, eating better, kind of manage some depression and anxiety and manage like transitions. I was in grad school, like shifting a lot of things. And nothing really stuck because I was just a customer, which people thrive on that. They jump in as a customer and they're like, this is so new. This is awesome. That was not me. And then I shifted into being a coach because I was told coaches get the best results. And at first I was like, okay, great, I'll be a coach. And I was not in a place to build that coaching community. I was still felt like a customer, still felt like nothing had shifted, nothing had changed. And then I found Inspire Beauty almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And really started coaching, like shifted from, okay, I was a coach on this team and kind of got it, wasn't really sure what I was doing, and then shifted and was like all in, dove full force into what I needed to do, what coaching looked like, having people follow me. And that was kind of the biggest shift was there's accountability when you're a customer because you're joining an accountability group. But when you have people who are joining because of you, it's a completely different story because they're looking to you to know what to do. And did I know what to do? Heck no. I had no idea what to do, but the fact that people were on my heels, like, okay, I'm coming with you. I figured it out and I figured out what to do. And the difference in results once I actually started having people come along with me was drastic. And I think just looking at this list that's in front of you on the screen, like the growth of like grad school Annie, who was like, okay, I want to get into a routine versus like entered a full-time job, like entered the real world, got married and everything. The growth was not just like in the stages of life, like the growth that I gained from people coming alongside of me was exponential. And when I heard people say coaches get the best results, my thought was, okay, yeah, because they're coaches. They're like on the top of this thing. They're like going places, but it's a completely different feeling when you're able to invite to something and have people join alongside of you than just saying, oh, I'm doing this. Like, this is what I'm following. This is the plan I'm following. But like, hey, will you do this with me? Like I've met my best friends through coaching, not just being a customer, but coaching. Like the relationships that you build and like it says here, the get in the best shape, like mind, body, spirit. It's not just working out and it's not just drinking shakes. Like if I had not started coaching, I would not have recognized the importance of like personal development and growing my mindset and shifting my mindset. And because of that push, that has changed my relationship with food, my relationship with exercise, my depression, my anxiety, like all of that has shifted because of my coaching experience, because I have other people pushing with me to build a community that is not willing to look back. So that's kind of all I have for why I love it. But
no, it's beautiful. It's perfect. And you guys, I think of it like, you know, how many times have you done something where you're like, I swear, this is my year. This is my year. I'm going to do it. And then like July, not even January, like 13th comes around and you're like already off because no one else knew about your goal. It was just you. And you were like, I could just break a promise to myself. But as women, how often do we refuse to break promises to other people, right? Like your spouse or your friends or your mom or your siblings or your children, like you would never break promises to them, but we're so quick to break them to ourselves. And I think that's perfect, Annie. Like this, when you put both feet in and say, I'm going to become a coach, it's kind of like a declaration that like, I'm not going to break promises to myself anymore. I love that. Ashley, can you talk to us a little bit about like what a willing coach looks like as we get closer to wrapping up tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like the biggest thing is being coachable ourselves and open to this idea of we're surrounded by women who are there like reaching their hand out and they have ideas and we're all at different levels in this business. And so like setting that ego aside and just really leaning into what has worked for other people and being open-minded to that growth is definitely, a huge thing. And I'm just looking and seeing the worst case scenario thing and flipping that into like, what if this is the best case scenario? And I actually just had this conversation with someone the other day, like best case scenario, you show up, you're on your journey, you're feeling great, you're feeling healthy, you're getting healthy and like elevating your life and you get to bring other people with you. Like, how freaking cool is that? I don't know of like any other business where we get to do those things. And so instead of thinking like the worst case scenario, what if it's like change to the best case scenario, like where you see yourself like a month from now, 3 months from now, even 6 months from now, and into the next years. Because I look back at from when I started my journey and like not knowing a thing about like what I was doing with coaching and just growing along the way. And I look at everyone who's been with us on this screen and seeing their growth too. And it's so amazing that we're able to share this gift with so many people. And like I said, I think just having that open mind and looking at it as like best case, like these are the blessings that I'm giving to myself and that I get to extend to other people along the way.
I was too busy recording that. It's so good and so true. Speaking of best case scenario, last person I'm going to ask to unmute, and she probably has zero idea, but Jenna, oh, sorry, Siri wanted to know too. Jenna, talk to us about like, because you swapped teams. You were part of a team. You were not having success as a coach over on that team. And I know when Leah reached out to you, it was kind of like, I don't know, like I don't, maybe this isn't for me. I'm gathering that. Maybe I'm wrong. Anywho, you've been thriving, especially on your journey since joining our team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So yeah, I've been doing Beachbody related stuff since probably 2009. It's been a long time. Thank you. Elaine wants to be part of the call too, like all things. She's my buddy, my workout buddy, everything. And I was part of I've been part of a number of teams. When I first joined Beachbody, I was randomly assigned to a coach who I never connected with. And then I switched to one of my friend's coaches, and she was based in New York, and she was pretty cool, but she was a trainer and didn't really have a whole lot of time for this, sort of, but not really. It was like all different types of things. We were still like friends on Facebook though. I've never actually met her in person. Then I switched to another coach a number of years after that because she was my boss's wife. And we had connected on a wide variety of levels. And it was just, it was before Beachbody reclassified everything to be PC coach, customer, all the things. You were like coach or customer. So I was a coach because I was like, heck yeah, I'm all in it. But I really wasn't doing anything to further my own journey as a coach. I'd occasionally say to people, yeah, I mean, I'm doing this Beachbody thing, whatever. Like you sometimes see me doing these shakes. It is what it is. But I wasn't motivated to really do much. And Leah and I met a number of years ago. Gosh, it's probably like 5 years ago now, at spin class, and didn't know that each other was involved in Beachbody in any way, shape, or form. And didn't even have that conversation. It was just kind of like we were homies at spin class. And I had to stop going to spin class because like of other like just body issues. It wasn't working for my body at the time. I needed to go to the chiropractor, get all that worked out, everything like that. But we stayed friends on Facebook, on Insta, and we kind of just continued to follow each other. And I would see stuff that she'd be doing and I'd be like, you're awesome. And then of course, like we have all talked about, she's super #1 cheerleader and would consistently reach out and be like, you're just rocking it. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, this is just this woman that I met at spin class, and we were kind of we're kind of friends, but I mean, it's not like we've been out to drinks together. Like we went to the 6:30 in the morning spin class. But I genuinely feel like we've just really connected on that deeper level. And she would sort of reach out to me and be like, hey, I see you doing this on your journey. You know, I'm here for you just in case you're ever interested. It was never a coach poaching type situation. I never felt like that ever. It was really more of like, I'm part of this awesome community, and I think you would thrive if you were part of this awesome community with me. And I finally kind of got the gumption to say, you know what, I think I'm ready to switch teams because my other team wasn't serving me in any purpose. My previous coach just kind of stopped doing everything, stopped reaching out to us, stopped communicating in any way, shape, or form, and I wasn't feeling very supportive. And it was just very happenstance that Leah continued to reach out. And I said to her, like, I'm not ready to switch. I'm not ready to switch, but please reach out to me because I would like you to reach out to me again. I might be ready to switch. I wasn't stringing her along, legit. I just, I was looking for some greater connection. And a couple of months ago now, I guess, I made the switch. And quite frankly, it's been super invigorating for me. It's helped me to realize that my greater purpose is really like helping other people and being there for them and meeting them where they're at on their own health and fitness journey, on their life journey, and dealing with all of the things, that we're dealing with. We're teething right now, sorry. But like, that's like my story is this story, is that this is my life, and my life includes being able, like Holly's mentioned, and other people have mentioned, to make time for you, for the things that bring you joy, bring you fulfillment, bring you happiness. This journey, this life experience for me, yeah, I've been part of Beachbody for over 10 years, but never have I felt so invigorated to actually make actionable steps towards the future and want to help more people and want to do something with this aspect of coaching. I hope that answered the question. But
Beyond, I couldn't need you to say it better. Listen, the bubble blowing with the lips, everything right now. Jenna, can you really quick, by the way, that was like a power move because I can't even handle when my dogs are barking and stay focused. So you're amazing. Like seriously, there's a special place for all you mamas in my heart. Hey, can you really quick unmute and tell everybody just really quick, what do you do for your 9 to 5? Because it's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to be a Title IX investigator for Santa Clara University, and then in October my boss left, so I've assumed the director position for the Office of Equal Opportunity in Title IX. So for the entire institution, I'm responsible for all of the programmatic aspects, ensuring that we're in compliance with local, state, federal laws, doing a number of trainings for people to ensure that they understand what mandatory reporting is. And of course, like focusing on investigations as well. So yes, a lot of it has to do also with very difficult things. And so this is a really awesome outlet for me. I know that's terrible, like to probably say it like that, but usually the conversations I have with people, especially at work, are downers, right? Because it's something that's terrible that has occurred, and I'm trying to help them to navigate and negotiate next steps on how to find justice, or how to feel supported, or how to get to that next step within their own healing journey and healing process. And so for me, like coaching is like a healing process for me, and working out is a healing process for me to be able to decompress and figure all that out.
So good. And the reason you guys, I had her tell you that is because she talked a lot about how this business gives her the chance to she said, like, I have a new like calling in my life to like help people, but like homegirl is already doing that in her 9 to 5, right? And so many times I hear people say like, I got a job, I don't need another job, I'm good. But it's like, this is like fulfilling in a different way. It's like a breath of fresh air on a Monday. You know what I mean? It's a breath of fresh air in Dallas, Texas. Because Kayla, it's hot here right now, isn't it, girlfriend? It's real hot. Thank God we both have pools. We're smart. But seriously, Jenna, I couldn't have paid her to say that even any better. She deals with heavy things all day. So this is her healing outlet. And my friends, healed people heal people. Hurt people, right? But if you're healing, you get to heal people. It's so cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. So next steps. Thank you guys so much. So many good stories. So many guys, you've heard people who've been in this business 9 years, full-time coach. You've heard people who were like, Brittany, please stop sending me weird messages on Instagram, okay, I'm just going to silently stalk you. And then they joined and it transformed their lives, BFFs that they didn't even know they needed, right? Like you've heard it all across the board. And I believe that your story is somewhere within the spectrum of everyone's, and it's only going to enhance our stories, truly. You know, like I believe that we enhance one another. Every single new coach that comes onto our team that has this electrifying energy, my life becomes better because of you. So next steps after we hop off of here, connect with the coach who invited you. Reach out to them. If you're watching this replay, seriously, finish the replay, go reach out, connect with them. And I want you to think back to what Ashley talked about. We so often think of the worries, the fears, the hesitations, the worst case scenario, and we're happy to address. Trust and believe, like Carlin the other day, her and I got on a one-on-one, a little Zoom. And I was like, dish it to me, girl. What are you worried about? And I heard her and I was like, I hear you. And here's what I have to say about that, right? So tell them honestly, what are you hesitant about? But also let them know like who specifically spoke to you, who were you inspired by? And what do you think the best case scenario would be if you just became a coach? You remember the 3 things that Kristen told us. You're on your journey, sharing your journey, and inviting other people like her cousin, Ashley, who wouldn't even say no to her, right? To just be a workout buddy and keep her accountable. What's the best case scenario if you just started doing that? And then from there, we can decide the best way to upgrade you. But I'm going to already tell you the best way right now is Lift More is coming out, and we're doing a VIP test group kicking off on August 1st. And that's the most cost-effective way to upgrade you. Even if you're like, I don't really want to do Lift More, it's the best cost-effective way at this moment to get you plugged in. Most all of you guys are plugged into our fitness communities and our bod groups. So if you're not, make sure you get plugged in. But if you are, like, keep showing up. Do the things you've seen other people do, like things that take no talent. You don't have to be a coach to cheer someone else on yet. Just like Leah shows us every day in the sisterhood, you could literally go and comment, way to go, girl. I'm so proud of you. Awesome job showing up on other people's posts within your VOD group community. That's you already coaching even before you start. And I know, and I can say this because I love y'all so much and I see you in my stories, just like Jen said, I see you, okay? The amount of time you spend watching people's stories, what if you went, Leah taught me this, what if you went to the bod group app and you scrolled there instead? And instead of scrolling Instagram and commenting, what if you scrolled our sisterhood and commented? Same thing, different app, a little bit more impactful, right? So it's not like, oh, I don't have time for that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Just don't scroll over here, right? But you can literally already start showing up for you and your journey as a coach before you even dive in. And then, like I said, being on your journey, and we'll help you with that along the way. And I hope some of these gals tonight inspired you that there's going to be ups where you're rocking it, and there's going to be downs where you're like, man, I fell off. And we're here to pick you back up. And then we have a new coach mentorship, a brand new one that's going to be kicking off for August. You can save the date, August 2nd. That's a Tuesday, about the same time. We're going to get on Zoom and we're going to walk you through the all the getting started right steps as a brand new coach as we dive into a little push pod that we'll do together throughout the month of August. So those are your steps, guys. Reach out to your coach, talk to them, be honest and vulnerable with them. You're not going to say something they haven't already heard, trust me. But then talk about like best case scenario, figure out how you can enroll, and then just get ready, because truthfully, like I can't even imagine if I had not said yes to this 9 years ago. First of all, none of y'all would be here. That's the ripple effect. And I can humble brag say that right now. Not a single one of you would be on this call if I didn't say yes. And so think about your future. Who would be on a call years down the road that you don't even know today simply because you said yes? It's a pretty cool thing to think about. So that's all we've got for you guys tonight. I'm so grateful that you, sorry, I had to make sure it got back to our screen. I'm so grateful you chose to say yes and hang out with us for a little bit tonight. Let me